Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to try out a bunch of new products from Essence Cosmetics. Earlier today, I actually visited Farmers, which is a department store here in New Zealand that carries Essence Cosmetics, and I actually was quite surprised with how much products I found. Like, they came out with a bunch of complexion products. They have some eyeshadows, and currently the collection they have is a bunch of highlighters. I did not really get into the highlighters as much because the palette that I purchased actually has one. So I'm going to start by priming my face. This claims that it is airy, light textured with natural black clay as a mattifying effect without weighing down the skin. It minimizes pores optically for an even complexion. So it comes with a squeezy tube which I like, and this is what it looks like. This is very different from the primers that I've tried, because usually pore minimizing would either come in like a cream consistency, a silicone consistency, or like that tinted consistency, but this is pretty interesting. It has a clean scent. Wow, it did make my face really matte. It doesn't feel sticky at all. I actually quite like the clean scent that it gives. We'll see how the foundation goes on, but based on what I see on the monitor and the mirror, it kind of blurred my pores around this area right here and a little bit on my forehead, which is a good sign. And this product is only $7. For foundation, I have two. This is the Insta Perfect liquid makeup. This is a strong matte effect, waterproof, and has a buildable coverage. I've seen a few Australian beauty gurus try this one, and I'm excited to try this. So I have swatched this at the store, and the product tends to separate, so make sure you give it a good shake. So this is what hot chocolate looks like. Honey, which is that one right there, the lighter one. So I think I'm going to try. No, that's definitely way too light. So I'm just gonna mix them together. It's a little bit too pinky for my liking, so I'm gonna put a little bit more of the honey because that has more of a yellow undertone. It's going to be lighter than my skin tone, but we're just gonna have to deal with it, which sucks because Essence is actually one of a good affordable brands here in New Zealand for makeup. Their color selection is terrible. It has a slight perfumey scent, which is not very overpowering. Like, it will go away in a few minutes, but I love the fact that it's quite sheer, so you can't really tell that the shade match is awfully wrong. So here is what my face is looking like with one layer. As you can see, my skin is pretty even. I would probably get away with wearing just this when I go to the beach, but if I want more of a fuller coverage, I would probably have to add a few more. The consistency is liquidy and it's very thin. It doesn't feel greasy at all. It sets pretty quickly, which I like. Primer helped as well because if you can see over this here, it's pretty blurred and pretty smooth. So I'm going to add another layer. With two layers on, I'm actually quite happy with the coverage, even though like you could still see my dark marks from acne, but overall the coverage is there. It made my face pretty even. Just ignore the fact that I have like a friend over here. It popped overnight. It kind of is clinging into my sunburn area, which is a little bit dry. So just be aware of that. And I feel like if you have more of a drier skin, you wouldn't really like this foundation. So I was originally going to apply this before the foundation, but I got sidetracked. So anyway, we're going to quickly put that in. Here is the highlighter. It has more of a lotiony consistency, and it adds a nice hydrated glow to the skin. So I feel like if you really want to try the foundation, you could mix in a little bit of that lotion. So I'm going to pop a little bit of that on my highlight areas. before I apply concealer. Oh, I actually quite like how that looks on top of the foundation. It gave it a little bit of a glow, not too intense. So I don't have any concealer on hand because I had a really bad experience using an Essence concealer previously. It's very ashy. They don't have a lot of shades. They only have 3 and all of them look white on me. So I'll be right back to set my face once I popped on the concealer. Under eye, I'm going to pop this eyeshadow primer. So I'm just gonna quickly set my face with this powder right here, the Essence All About Matte powder. I'm also gonna add just a little bit of the banana powder because I really want to correct the color of the foundation because it's looking a little bit too pink at the moment. Just gonna quickly contour my face. I don't have any bronzer or any contour from Essence. I don't even think that they carry any contour product. They only have a bronzer, but the bronzer doesn't really show up on my skin tone and it was catered for darker skin. So I'm just gonna use whatever I have. All the face stuff gone, and looking at it, I actually quite like it. It's very natural, it's very matte, except for the part that it doesn't matte. Now moving on to the eyeshadow, I am going to set my lids using this shade right here. I fully wish that this pan right here is a little bit bigger because that's what we use to set our lids. It has a little bit of fallout, but it's not major. I will use a slightly flat brush and I'm going to go and dip to this purple right here and use that as our transition since that's the only matte we have. That's actually pretty pigmented, though I'm not a fan of the color because it looks like bruise on my eyes. I want to build up the outer V, so I'm going to use like a denser brush and then I'll pack on the colors on here. And then I'll use the same brush to blend. I really want to use this green shade right here and the purple, so I think I'm going to sandwich them together. I am going to go back to that packing brush that we used and pick up the purple shade. That's pretty decent. The consistency of the eyeshadow is a little bit hard and chalky, so that's what the purple looks like. And I'm going to pat that on the inner part. It has a little bit of fallout, so just and I'm gonna use the other side of the brush to go back to that matte shade and deepen this. I noticed that as I'm blending the eyeshadows, it kind of fluffs it all away. Like this eyeshadow right here kind of came off and then it transferred to this inner part right here, which I did not purposely do that. For the middle part, I am going to use this shade right here, which is that one. And oh my god, that's actually pretty. It swatches a little bit gritty, but it's very pigmented. And so far the best shade that I've tried. And that is without any base. So what I'm going to do is to pick up a brush and sort of refine that. And I'm going to go back to the purple to blend the edges. I actually quite like it. I think I might put a little bit of gold on top. So the gold has the same texture as the green one, and ooh-wee. So I'm gonna pat that on top. I'm actually quite happy with that. So I'm just gonna blend. For the bottom lash line, I am going to pick up that purple shade once again and smudge that all over. I want to use this shade right here, which is sort of a pinky shade, that one right there. So I'm going to use that on my lower lash line. I am going to pick up the gold shade for our inner corner. For the brow bone highlight, I'm going to go back and use the matte bone shade. I am going to do the same on the other eye, pop on some lashes, apply the mascara, and then I'm going to come back and apply the highlighter and my lips. I was going to apply false lashes, but I feel like this look turned out alright with just lashes. So the mascara that I use is this false lashes mascara, which I absolutely love. It lengthens, it gives volume to the lashes. Now that I'm looking in the mirror and the foundation has settled down, it doesn't oxidize, which is really good, and it's actually not that bad if you mix them together. Obviously, if I were just to use hot chocolate, it would be like overly reddish pink. This shade is actually great. It doesn't make any funny movement or anything like that. My pores is still blurred. I'm still pretty matte. We are going to try out the highlighter from this palette, and it's this one right here. This is the highlighter. It has more of a peachy golden undertone to it, like you can't really see it on my skin. So it's that one right there. It pulls off a little bit more of a peachy gold. The formula of this is quite dry. Like if I tap, there's no fallout or anything like that, but the brush seemed to pick up a lot of product. Oh, that's intense. It reminds me of the Fenty Kilowatt highlighter, which is Mean Money and Hustler Baby. Oh, I like that. For lips today, I am going to quickly pop on the lip liner and the lip gloss from Essence. Last but not the least, I'm going to try out the setting spray. I need to actually spray it first before I... This spray is a little bit aggressive. Here is my final look. Overall, my thoughts on the new products from Essence. I actually do enjoy this Insta Perfect liquid makeup. The only problem is that I constantly have to mix two shades, but other than that, I love the finish. I love the coverage because it's actually buildable. Like as you can see, I have quite a lot of dark spots, but it actually covered it. The eyeshadow palette is okay. The highlighter in this one is pretty good, as you can see. The shimmers, I would give them probably a 6 out of 10. They show up pretty good, but they have a lot of fallout, and I think there's only a few methods for you to fully redeem the color, if you know what I mean. Like you have to use your finger, or you either have to use like a pigment primer to make them fully pop, but I managed to pull it off with using just this as an eyeshadow base. The matte in here is surprisingly very pigmented. The only downside is that when you blend it, it kind of goes away. Same goes for the more satiny shades, which is this one right here and probably this one. They kind of just crumbles in your eye and don't really hold the pigment as much. Like I could tell that this is the type of eyeshadow where if I were to wear it throughout the day, it will just fade. I wasn't able to fully test it. I would probably have to apply this underneath the foundation, but based on the texture, it doesn't feel greasy. It just melts into the skin, which is a good thing to have, especially this summertime. My top favorite would have to be the primer because it's very affordable. I believe this is only $8, and oh my god, it filled in my pores. It made my face very matte, which is very appropriate for the weather today. The setting spray is okay. Like it has a very aggressive spray, so once you spritz like 3 times, your face is literally drenched, but it kind of felt cooling and I didn't really notice any difference with my makeup. Eyeshadow base is pretty good. It made the shadows blend. Even though I did set this with an eyeshadow, it made everything showed up, and I actually do enjoy this new shade right here, which is a little bit lighter. It's that one right here, so it makes everything pop. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.